It's normal to think about doing it perfect. Letting those things stop you is a choice.
The road to success is through commitment and through the strength to drive through that commitment when it gets hard. And it is going to get hard, and you're going to want to quit sometimes, but it'll be colored by who you are and more who you want to be.
The only solution is micro action. That's it. I don't want to hear shit about your big goals. In fact, for everybody out there, I don't want to hear shit about your dreams and your goals until you're actually taking the actions every day for a couple weeks straight. You don't get to talk about your dreams until you can prove that you wake up and every single damn day you push yourself to take one small action forward. If you can do that consistently for a month, then you can start talking about your dreams. Then you can start talking about how you make money at it. Then you can start talking about how you build skill around it. But until you can...
Inspiring, informative, and entertaining talk and music. You're listening to TW3 Radio.
How could a man hit a target he could not see? That's a pretty good question. Here's another one. How can you hit a target you do not have? Besides, planes are built for flying. Ships are built for sailing. Houses are built for living. And man, too, was built for purpose. He was designed for accomplishment. He's engineered for success. He's endowed with the seeds of greatness. And the greatest danger we as human beings have is when we do not do anything at all. People today complain of lack of time. It's not lack of time that's the problem, it's the lack of direction. Are you a wandering generality, or are you a meaningful specific? Are you going to work tomorrow because that's what you did yesterday? If that's the reason you're going tomorrow, you won't be as good tomorrow as you were yesterday because you're 2 days older and no closer to the goal you do not have. What about you personally? Have you got your goals laid out? Are you a meaningful specific, or are you a wandering generality?
See, you are part of an equation, and you are needed. Part of why we should begin to look at how we give up our lives, that we've got to begin to see, what is it that I'm supposed to do? What is my life work? And then give ourselves to that. Because as we do that, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you, as you begin to take on this new era that we're in, if you decide that I'm going to begin to start living life, I'm going to start giving more of myself, I'm going to start putting out more, contributing more to life. Here's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you that life will take on a whole new meaning for you. I guarantee you that life takes on a whole new dimension, that you'll be happier, you have a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment in life, that now you will begin to take off on some new paths to some newer horizons, that you'll begin to see life totally different than most people.
You got to have those long-range goals. And the rule is a simple one. You go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you'll always be able to see further. Are you a wandering generality, or are you a meaningful specific?
And most of us go through life because we're not using that which we've been given, that we are punished, that we're going through life getting up in the morning with no reason to get up. There's a scripture, when I heard it, I couldn't understand it. I say, how cold? He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has shall be taken away. He that hath a generous view of life, he that has courage, he that hath initiative, he that hath resourcefulness.
I say it with all of my heart. I know in my mind that man was designed for accomplishment, that he's engineered for success, that he is endowed with the seeds of greatness.
You're listening to TW3 Radio, inspiring, informative, and entertaining talk and music for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
Why is it that people don't want to grow? Why is it that they just settle for being less than what they are capable of being? Why is it they shy away from doing their stuff and challenging themselves and taking life on and making it an exciting adventure? Why is it? Because living your dream, it's hard, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard living your dream. We are in charge of our attitudes. And when you're in charge of your attitude, you say, if it's hard, then do it hard. I won't allow this to stop me. I don't have the option of easy. I don't have the option, and I don't think you do, or any of us do, of going around trying to find a dream. That's a little dream that doesn't require much responsibility or not too stressful or won't be too much of a hassle. No, no, no. I am convinced that life is 10% of what happens to me and 90% of how I react to it. An optimist sees an opportunity in every calamity. A pessimist sees a calamity in every opportunity. What can make it okay? Your attitude about it. That you decide that this is not going to determine who I am. Charles Swindoll said about attitude, he said, the longer I live, the more I realize the impact attitude has on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures and successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearances, giftedness, or skill. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play the one string we have, and that is our attitude.
If there's anything in life that you don't currently have right now, it's because of who you are and how you think. I know you're strong enough to do it because you're human. And every human has what it takes to get past whatever they're going through if they decide to. Push through it. Push through it. Tragedy and trials come to everybody. Only the strong survive. Y'all running from pain. Y'all running from challenges. You telling me how difficult your life is. Do you understand it is the difficulty that's going to prepare you and take you to that next level? I'm here just like you here, and I promise you, I ain't leaving without the degree. I will not leave without that goal. I will not leave without that dream. I will not leave this university until I'm successful. I will not leave this job. I will not leave this client. I will not leave this opportunity until I get it.
You're listening to TW3 Radio, inspiring, informative, and entertaining talk and music for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
Look what you did there, and you can't do that. And who are you, Terry? Who are you to go and talk to hundreds of people about business? You're a failure. You went bankrupt. Well, let me tell you something. I figured out a way not to do business. And you need to know this. And Les tells a story about where he was playing Connect Four. I don't know if y'all know Connect Four, but it's this little checkers game that you play. And he's playing with his son, and he's playing. He played for hours with his son. And he says, "Son, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm tired." He says, "Dad, one more game. And he said, "Son, I'm bored. I'm tired." He goes, "Listen, it's not over until I win." And finally his son won, and they could quit playing. And he says, Les says, how many of us would find so much more success if we'd have the attitude of that little child? It ain't over until I win. This ain't over until I win. I'm still going to play this game. I'm still going to be involved. I'm still going to be engaged so I get my breakthrough.
Well, Happy New Year. I hope you are ready for a prosperous 2021. Boy, I tell you what, 2020 had its challenges, didn't it? We're about to start our show, and this year, in talking to the staff and in talking to the people that work in support, the ones who see the tickets that come in, the ones who see the quality of business that's being written, one thing that came obvious to us is we've got one of our older members that are just knocking out of the park, and we want to give him a special award tonight before we kick off our first episode of 2021. We want to call Gary Green our Coach of the Year for 2020. You know, there's one thing to make a lot of money, and Gary regularly makes $5 to $10 grand a week with using our system, our tools, our training, our technology. He's a great coach. He's a great recruiter. And there's one thing to be great and successful on your own. And there's another thing to make other people great and other people successful. Matter of fact, I don't think you can be successful until you make other people successful. Gary has been with me going on, I guess 8 years now at TW3. And if you notice, the last quarter of 2020, we were highlighting new members that had come on and made tons of money. Well, what we didn't tell you is some of those people that we were highlighting are Gary's clients. So Gary's making a ton of money, but he's helping a lot of other people make tons of money. And we just wanted to recognize him and tell him thank you for his continued business. And as a special reward for being Coach of the Year, 2020's Coach of the Year here at TW3, we're told Gary that he can pick any one of his hundreds of clients that are Plus members and let them upgrade to the elite level for only $500 just to cover the admin costs. But he can upgrade any Plus member he wants for $500, and they'll come automatically up to the elite level. I think he's already picked someone out that has been with him for a while, he said, so we'll let him contact those folks and let them know who they are if they want to take advantage of that special offer. But we just wanted to say thank you, Gary, and thank you everyone that has been with us for so long here at TW3. This is our 13th year. We'll be celebrating 13 years in business this coming July. And it is just a special business and community we have here. If there's one thing that 2020 has taught me, is one thing to communicate, and it's a whole nother way and a whole nother thing to connect. And community in times like we have just come through in 2020 has taught us that the value of community. And I am so proud to have hundreds of active recruiting trainers and elite trainers throughout the world that is working with other people to make them successful, to help them take their money, their business, and their lives to all new levels through the tools, training, and technology we have here at TW3. So welcome aboard. Let's get into episode 447 as we talk about It's Go Time.
Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, home of TW3, the most powerful marketing tools, training, and technology on planet Earth. Get ready to earn, enjoy, and experience more than you ever dreamed was possible. If you're tired of just getting by and ready to really thrive, then buckle in and listen up. Here's your host, Terry Wilson.
Thank you, Keith. This is Terry Wilson, and you are listening. Welcome to the podcast. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful holiday break. I hope it was a meaningful time with friends and family, and you didn't have any foes, as I like to say. Listen, 2020, everybody say bye-bye. I'm telling you, what a year that was just a challenging year for so many people, and for us. I don't know of anyone that didn't get a gut punch in some ways from 2020. Loved ones who's gotten sick, some who've passed away even. Because of this crazy stuff, plans that got altered or changed or canceled, businesses that's gone out of business. So many lives have just been disrupted because of all the craziness that happened in 2020. And it's just been, you can't whitewash it. You can't just put as they say in the South, a lipstick on a pig and just call it pretty. It is what it is. It was ugly. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing I want you to know. Even through all that chaos and craziness and just total fear mongering and people taking advantage of the situation and the pandemonium and the politics that 2020 had. People still found a way, and I'm proud to report to you, the listener of this podcast, the members of this business, people, and you know, some of you are there, found a way to prosper in 2020. Even when you weren't prepared for it, no one saw it coming as far as just, you know, okay, we need to do this, this, and this. And we closed the books this year a little bit more than what we did in 2019 with none of that craziness. We look forward to 2021 because we recognize that there's a new reality that's going to be here, hopefully temporarily. I pray to God that it doesn't alter our culture and society to ways that we can't get back to a much more normal life. I don't think anybody wants that. But the reality is, one thing that I am proud to report and so humbled by is the good Lord in his grace has found it fit to give us the tools and the training and technology we needed for last year to be able not to just survive, but to thrive, and not just to be able to do it for ourselves, but to help thousands of other people do the same. And so that makes life so rewarding. You know, I got a training and it's a podcast. It's talking about don't chase the money, chase the meaning. You know, money comes and goes, but meaning, when you can wrap your life around something of meaning, of significance, that gets you up out of the bed in the morning, that just infuses your life and infuses your emotions and your perceptions of life, when it just permeates everything is got, and it's coming from a place of meaning, then boy, I tell you, when the money comes, it's just that much more rewarding. But I tell you, you know, you've heard me quote this statistic. You know, if you've been listening to this podcast at all, you've heard me quote this statistic quite often. 98% of people that try home-based businesses fail. A large majority of people that try to lose weight fail. A large majority of people that try anything that's outside of their normal way of doing struggle. And there's tons and tons of studies that go behind the reason why that is. It has to do a lot with mindset. It has a lot to do with beating yourself up and thinking the wrong things to start with. I heard a guy over the holiday break I was listening to. I've got involved. And by the way, if you are on Clubhouse and you want to hit me up, it's a new social media platform that I just love. I think it's one of the most socially responsible and more in line with how you interact socially with people anyway. The irony of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and some of these other social media platforms is they're so antisocial. I mean, nobody acts like that and talks like that in real life. You'd get punched in the nose. But I love this new social media platform that my buddy Cliff Ravenscraft, turned me on to, called Clubhouse. And I've been hanging out with him and Ray Edwards, John Lee Dumas, and some of those guys, and just listening to them. And I was in on one of those rooms the other day. And by the way, I was just saying, if you're on Clubhouse, you can hit me up. I'm at Terry Wilson 3 is my handle. Or ID or whatever it's called over there. But the gentleman made this profound statement. He says, the most you will ever pay for something is when you pay attention to the wrong advice. Boy, it will cost you. The biggest cost you'll have in something you pay for is when you're paying the wrong attention. And there's so many people out there in today's world that's got opinions, but very few have dominions. I'm going to tell you, if you want to learn how to lose weight, don't go to a fat guy. If you want to learn how to make money, don't go to a broke guy. If you want to learn how to be happy, don't go to a depressed guy. The point is, you know, social media and online marketing is great, but it is given a means for people that really aren't excelling yet in that area, a platform to fool a lot of people. And I think a lot of times people get hurt because they get involved in a business that is not the right business for them. They get involved with some sort of diet program or some thrill pill, lotion, or potion that is unsustainable because it's a diet and it's not a lifestyle. They get involved with some sort of, empty philosophical idea that would just here today, gone tomorrow. The thing I love about our business is that in 2021, this is 13 years of business, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We've got thousands of members and hundreds of people that come and join us each week on these podcasts and listen to us in audio and video form. We have 10,000 downloads per episode on average on the audio side. And I'm telling you, number one, I'm grateful. Thank every one of you who have done that has stuck with us, that has found value. And I get your emails, I get the reviews, and I just want to say thank you, number one. But number two, I want to tell you, in tonight's podcast is talking about it's go time. It is go time. Okay. 2020 caught us all off guard. Nobody planned for it, but we have no excuses in 2021 not to be prepared, not to have a plan, and not to have products and a means to get those products, goods, and services in front of the people with the processes we need to turn a profit for ourselves. We know the sort of, the new norm. You can use a little bit of deductive reasoning to understand that, life has changed a little bit. And so I'm going to tell you, if you don't have a home-based business that's online, that gives you the ability to generate as much traffic as you want, as much leads as you want, that gives you a product that's got a decent enough profit margins, you can make a living. If you're trying to sell $10,000 worth of stuff to make a few $100, you're in the wrong business. Okay, your margins, you cannot, that is not a sustainable business. One of the things I love about, if you sell our basic package, $1,000 package, you're going to make $750. If you are an elite member, when you sell that package, you're going to make $750 and $50 each month thereafter. You build a book of business of a couple hundred, 200, 300 people, you're going to understand why a lot of our elite reps was able to continue to do business in 2020 when it got soft, because they had a book of business that even if they didn't sell anything, they were bringing in 5, 10, 20, 30 grand a month. Okay. So that is the beautiful thing about residual income. That's the beautiful thing about our business model. It's not an MLM. It's not a network marketing business. It's not something that you have to go out and pester your friends, family, and foes to try to sell. It is a complete, total marketing system and suite of marketing tools that you need to generate as many leads as you want, to be able to follow up on those leads, to be able to sell products that have decent profit margins, and then to be able to monetize those engagements even when you don't sell something. You can give things away and still get paid. So it's go time, and that's what we're talking about tonight. I honestly believe this is a power-packed show for you today. We've got a couple things in episode 2 and 3 and 4 that is going to be wonderful. Segment 2 coming up here in just a second. I am going to give you 25 strategies, 25 tips, 25 sales tips to grow your business and to sell more and to close more. So if you're in business already, you're going to find great value in what's coming up in segment 2, because there's going to be 25 tips on how to sell more, close more, and increase your sales productivity in segment 2. In segment 3, I have a special guest that I'm going to be interviewing. Me and Reagan's going to be interviewing here in just a second, and you want to stay tuned for this person with all my heart. And I think the world of them, and my world is there because of them. So it's just a wonderful opportunity that I've had, and we took advantage of it. And so you're going to love this person's interview here in just a few moments. So that's in segment 3, and then in segment 4, I've got some announcements of what we're doing with TW3 Radio coming up in February. That you want every member at TerryWilson3.com that's a member of TW3 gets their own radio program if they want, and we're averaging a few thousand listeners a week. Nothing huge, but it's a way to grow and build your platform and to be able to have your own time slot and to have people tune in and listen to your live show just like I do on Monday nights at 9 p.m. You could be doing that, maybe not in a video format, but definitely in an audio format, and then have it done in reruns so that people can continue to listen. So that's a lot of great stuff that we've got coming up here in just a few moments as well. That's going to be talking about in segment 4. So when we get back from the break, you're going to hear 25 ways to improve and to increase your sales productivity in 2021 when we get back right after this. If you had to properly follow up with every single lead you had, how long would it take you? How effective would you be? And can you do it on their time frame that's right for them? The power of the CRM Max by TW3 is it allows you to put all of your sales process on automation. That way, when you're asleep, when you're in bed, your system is working for you. It's following up. It's responding as they respond. It's being triggered based on their activity. It's sending them the sales information they're needing. It's following up with the information after it's sent out. It's sending it in email and text format, and it even can do, in some instances, voice broadcast as well. That is the power of the CRM Max at TW3, and that is why our members, one person, can generate business that it usually takes an agency to do, because we have the tools, the training, the technology, and more importantly, the know-how on how to do it. Let me ask you something. If you had to call people, cold call people, what do you think your success rate would be? Some people it'd be great. I'm gonna tell you, I am a professional salesperson. I've been in business selling mostly for 25 years, and I would starve. But I have a system that I can go in and I can say, okay, I want this age group, this income, this credit rating in this region of the country. I want to record my voice. I send them a 15-second message, 10,000, 1,000, 5,000, whatever I want, but I usually get about a 2% response. That means for every 1,000 people I call, I get about 20 people. I get 20 people back, and then all of a sudden, I'm engaged in a conversation that's got a high rate of conversion, because all the cold calling, all of the awkwardness is done for me. That's the power of the TW3 broadcaster.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com. Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner. And now, back to the TW3 studios with Terry Wilson.
All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and get into that training.
Here are just some strategies that I think is going to help you in 2021 to grow your sales. Number 1, lead with what's in it for the prospect. With them, what's in it for me? When you're creating emails, when you're creating texts, when you're creating blog posts, when you're creating videos, always start with what's in it for the client. Number 2, clearly articulate the end result. So if you're recruiting people into a business, if you're selling something, if you'll watch this video right here, I'm going to show you how people are making this much, working this much. Clear, concise, end result that they're going to get. Number 3, start with a small niche market. Don't try to say, hey, I'm a health coach, I'm a wellness coach, I'm an insurance guy, I'm a real estate guy. I want to sell to everybody. We're understanding that, but everybody understands differently. And if you can have an idea avatar as who am I speaking to? Imagine in my mind, who are they? Where are they from? What's their background? What's their understandings? As much as possible, if I can drill down to who that person is, that niche, then that's going to inform how I approach them. It's going to inform how I articulate my ideas and my concepts. So don't be afraid to drill specifically down to a niche. Number 4, be flexible. A lot of times we are creatures of habit, especially as marketers and salespeople and online professionals and entrepreneurs. We get comfortable. 2020 taught us one thing: we've got to be flexible. We changed up the entire way we do our sales funnels. Why? Because the market changed, the attitude changed, the anxiety levels changed, and because all that changed, our approach had to change. So I'm telling you, in 2021, if you want to stay on the cutting edge and you want to continue to see your business grow, stay flexible. Number 5, prioritize your leads. Score them. One of the things I love about our CRM is when people come into it, it's going to track, their activity, how much they're opening email, what text has been sent to them, where are they at in the process. It's going to score them based on that activity, so you know how to spend your time the best. Who am I calling on? Who am I following up with the most? Who do I need to reach out to? Without that kind of metrics and without that kind of information, you're flying blind. So always score your leads, score your prospects, understand, who's engaged with you and who's not. Some of you get a ton of email from me, a lot of texts. Why? Because you're engaged with me. And so I know this is a person that appreciates what we're sending. Some of you only get one email maybe every 2 or 3 weeks. Why? Because you don't open the ones we send, or you don't engage the ones we send. So we try to measure them because we don't want to pester people. We want to meet them and measure what activity they're responding with so that we can, in like turn, be of value to them and not a pester to them. And we wrote a book, matter of fact, on some strategies, the art of the follow-up, that you can get at TW3 as well. That should help you with that. Number 6, connect with a decision maker. Don't spend your time kicking tires and going over features and benefits with people that don't have the authority to make a decision to start with. If you know that the person's married and they're not going to make a decision without that other person, have them both sitting there. If you know you're in a situation where there's middle management and upper management, or a person needs to be in on the decision to make a decision, make sure they're in the room. Copy them on the correspondence. Get in front of the decision makers so you're not wasting your time. Now, I know this is going to sound intuitive, but number 7, perfect your sales pitch. Get your pitch. What is it? The value proposition that you're going to offer. What are they going to be able to walk away from as a better person because of you? Get it clear, concise. I'm going to help you discover what it is you want to do, what you love to do, what you're talented to do, what you're called to do, what you're skilled to do. I'm going to help you develop the skill sets, the tools, training, technology around it so that you can do it to the highest level. And I'm going to help you make a ton of money doing it. That's what we do at TW3. That's my sales pitch. Discover, develop, monetize. Get clear, concise on what it is that you offer as well. Number 8, storytelling. Stories sell, and everybody has a story. You have a story. You've been touched by life. You've had pains and you've had pleasures. You've had wins and you've had losses. Tell your story. People relate to stories. I could get up here right now and tell you about blogs, and I can tell you about podcasting, I can tell you about webinars, and I can tell you about autoresponders, and I can tell you about email marketing, and I can tell you about text marketing and social media marketing and all these other different types of things. But the one thing I can tell you that always has the greatest impact, people understand stories. They understand pain, they understand pleasure, they understand wins, and they understand losses because they've been touched by it. Maya Angelou says that people often forget what you tell them, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. A story makes people feel. And buying is an emotional decision that's backed up by logic. I want to capture your imagination for a moment. I want to tell you, you are worth more. I want to tell you that story of how I came from, humble beginnings, and just as a teenager in a fast food restaurant, met a guy that gave me 3 words that set me free, and I want to do the same for you. That's my story. My story is what my business is built upon. I don't care about blogging and podcasting and all this other stuff. That might change tomorrow. Why? Because technology changes. But a story will always remain. Tell your story. Number 9, listen, listen, listen. Listen to what your prospects are telling you. Listen to how they're telling you. Listen to the words they're using. listen to the emotions behind it. The better you can listen to your prospect, the better you can listen to your client, your customer, the better you can listen, the better you can sell. Give your undivided attention to your prospect. When you're on the phone, when you're in a TW3 call center, when you are making that sales call, when you're selling that car, when you are showing that home, when you're talking to people about their health, whatever it is you're doing, give that client your undivided attention. Number 11, and this is huge, especially on retention. When you're negotiating with your customer, when you're negotiating that sale, when you're closing that sale, always close and always negotiate for a win-win. It's not enough for you to make the sale. It's enough for you to make the sale and they feel like they got the best deal in the world and they're so happy with the decision they made. Always negotiate for a win-win. The best way to negotiate for a win-win is take the client to the worst case scenario. What if you buy this product? What if you get this car? What if you buy this house? What if you get involved in this business and this, and this doesn't happen until this, or this happens, or this happens? What does that look like? Take them there. Emotionally or intellectually, go there by themselves. But if you'll take them there and then show them how if the worst case scenario happens, they can still win through it, then you've already prepared them for any disappointment that comes after the fact. Control the narrative. Don't let them, out of fear, out of anxiety or something, go somewhere and undermine the agreement that you have made with them and them with you. Always negotiate for a win-win. Number 12. Follow up for a definitive answer. Even if they're not ready to make the sale decision today, then close them on when will you have the decision made. Always follow up until a definitive answer. It doesn't even matter if it's no, then you can take it off your board, but follow up for a definitive answer. Number 13, always highlight the risk and the opportunities. Always highlight it, shine a light on it. Hey, here's someone that made over $500,000 in 2020. And here's someone that bought it and was there for a week and left and lost $3,000 on an elite package. Highlight it and explain. Don't be this one, be this one, and this is how. Always highlight the opportunity and the risk so everyone sober-minded, clear-headed, and with 20/20 vision can see what it is they want. Number 14, before you sell a product, before you sell anything, sell yourself. Always let people know who you are, the good and the bad. Don't try to be everything that you're not. Be you, be yourself. Put a bow around your good and your bad. Shine a light on it. Hey, this is what I'm good at. This is what I'm bad at. This is how I can help you. This is how I've helped other people. This is why you should do business with me. This is why you should be. Sell yourself before you sell any other product, because people buy from people they like. Number 15, develop a right mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. I'm telling you, mindset matters more than anything else. More than skill, more than talent, more than ability, more than experience. Mindset. A person who says he can't and a person who says he can are both right. How you think is going to determine how you earn, how you enjoy, and what you experience. Number 16, more than being thought of as smart, more than being thought of as an expert, more than being thought of as the be-all, end-all in any matter, be thought of as helpful. I might not know what you need right now. I might not know how to fix what it is you have right now. I might not know this, that, or the other. But here's what I'm committed to, Mr. and Mrs. Client. I will help you get the answer you need. I will help you solve the problem you have. I will help. Number 17, as well as asking for the sale, ask everyone for the referral. Ask everyone for the positive feedback. Ask everyone for, hey, share this information. Ask everyone to help you promote you, even when they don't buy. Because everyone can help you get your name, your product, your good, your service out there, but you have to ask. Number 18, Make your demonstrations of your products, goods, and services as concise and to the point as possible. There's times for long form content. Our podcast normally goes for an hour because we're not just demonstrating a product. We're not just teaching and training on something, but we're having a show. We're exchanging ideas and we're having fun. We're letting the client know this is who we are. We're bantering about because this is our brand. We're not selling just products. We're selling a lifestyle. We're selling a culture. We're selling who we are. So that's fine in a long format, but when it comes to this is how this works, or this is how this works, or this is how this product, good, or service will work for you, be clear, concise, and to the point and as quick as possible. Number 19, give clear but time-sensitive call to actions. The only way some people are ever going to move is by having a sense of, if I don't move now, I'm going to miss this opportunity. Many times, your big call to actions, the things that you need to happen, has to be time sensitive. It's not to put people under compulsion. It's not to manipulate people. It's for those people who've been thinking, and they've thought about everything. Now they just need that nudge. They need a mental reason why to pull the trigger now. We need to give them one. So in your call to actions, not all the time, not every time, but a lot of times, at least 2 or 3 times a month, you need to have a clear call to action that is time sensitive. Number 20, address uncertainty when you see it. If you see uncertainty in the product, good, or service, if you see uncertainty in the client, if you see there's any incongruency between what the client wants and needs versus what the product is and has, address it, point it out, let them decide if it's something that's doable, if it's something that it can be overcome, or if it's something that they can't really get past. Number 21, use a script. I don't know why people think that a script is bad, or a script is not natural, or a script makes it sound like it's phony. Even though a script may make you feel like you're restrained, trust me, even on my podcast, even a lot of times when I'm vamping, I rehearse it until those words are my own. And a lot of times I use rhetorical tools like alliteration so I can keep a clear mind as to what I'm trying to say and get out. That's why you hear me all the time, tools, training, and technology, means, method, and mechanism. There's a lot of alliteration in what I say simply because it's a rhetorical device so that I can remember what it is I'm trying to communicate. So use little techniques and tools like that, but don't be afraid to use a script. Number 22, create a community of clients, customers, a community of happy people that has used you before and fans. Create a community and let your community interact. Set up Facebook pages, set up pages where they can communicate with one another and help outsource maybe services that your product, good, or service needs that you're not able to respond as quickly. They can then cross-pollinate and help one another. Number 23, don't be afraid to sell to existing customers. One of the things that you ought to be able to do is create new products all the time that your existing customers, people that have already proven they know you, they like you, and they trust you, will have something else to buy from you. Number 24, offer clear assurances. One of the things I love about our business at TW3 is we have a 90-day money-made guarantee where we show people if you will use our tools and training the way we show you, not the way you think, not the way you want to try it, not the way that other people have done it, but if you'll use it the way we show you, we guarantee results in 90 days. That helps people, especially in the opportunity space, especially in the software space, especially that are trying this unknown quantity, have some sort of reasonable guarantee that says, okay, I at least know that they are confident in their system and in their strategies and in their software. Number 25, and finally, use automation. If one can put 1,000 to flight, then 2 can put 10,000 to flight. What that means, and from a theological standpoint into a practical standpoint in business, is I, Terry Wilson, here in South Carolina, I'm only one person, but I got 400,000 people on my email list. I got over 4,000 members. I've got a ton of people that myself and 4 other people full-time manage. How do we do that? Through automation. How do we market all of the things we market? Through automation. How do we follow up and respond? Through automation. That's the only way to do it. And that's one of the things that we offer at TW3 is text systems, email systems, blog systems, and all these other types of systems to automate your sales process, your closing process, and your servicing process. It's a CRM system we have along with some engagement tools as well. But the more you can automate and where to automate that, because you have to be smart about it, you can't automate everything. There is a time and a place for real one-on-one human connection, but there's a lot of things that can be automated. If you'll do that, you can scale your sales in 2021 as well. All right, so we're joined back in the studio here. We didn't know if we wanted to invite this guest or not because they have inside information in TW3 that could sink the whole ship. So we were nervous with this.
It's a liability, really.
It's a liability. I didn't know. I said, this one knows where all the dead bodies are buried. I mean, we just don't.
It's a dangerous game.
It's a dangerous game we're playing here. We're taking our own livelihood. No, I'm kidding. I have the distinct honor and privilege of welcoming Mom. Mom, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Don't lie. No, I'm kidding. She is doing great. We thought while we had her in for the holidays, we would just put her on the spot. I didn't tell her what we were doing. I just said, can you come to my office around 3? And then she got suspicious. Why?
Why?
Oh, what? I said, we're just going to talk. No, what about what?
I'm not dumb.
She said, I know what's in that room.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't ever really know what the questions are or what I should, be thinking about before it. So you're good. You just come in and you do your thing.
She was grilling me. What are you going to talk about?
Don't worry about it.
I was like, don't worry about it. She says, don't ask me anything I said, I'm not going to ask you anything you don't know about. So, Mom, we're talking about quantum physics. And
No.
I'd rather
but
talk
seriously,
about baseball.
Where's the money in your house? Where do you hide it? Is
exactly
it in the mattress?
what drawer is all the money stashed in now? No, I got a serious question, and I'm going to leave you alone. I won't pick on you too much.
Okay.
But there's 3 generations of Wilsons in this room. And it occurred to me while on the treadmill today, society's changed, culture has changed, attitudes have changed, a lot of things have changed. But, we talk a lot about entrepreneurialism, as you know, on the show. And me and Reagan banter back and forth. And he's talked on the show before about, the different attitudes in his generation about working for yourself versus everything else. And it occurred to me that, a lot of times when people are fearful or afraid, they want to run or cling or put their hope in something that feels, whether it is or not, it feels to them secure because then they can relax. That's why, I think that's why people take dead-end jobs, just to be honest with you, why they sell themselves short a lot of times and take a job that they could do better, but the place they're at in their life right then and there, they can't withstand anything that feels risky because, they just can't take any more of the anxiety that could bring. And it occurred to me, okay, that makes sense. And then I was thinking, but I was raised by a single mom that had to raise 2 children by herself. And we're up here in North Carolina, coming up from Georgia. And while she worked for the state, worked in the court system, worked for the state, had a secure job, I never once picked up on the attitude, Terry, you need to go out, and I never felt pressured, go get a 9-to-5 job, go get this degree because you got to go do this over here. I never heard you once, and you had every reason to. Life had got complicated. We ain't going to go down that road, but we talked about it before. Everybody feels pain. Everybody has had heartache. Everybody's had something that's happened to them. But you never once internalized that and then project that on me. I didn't feel. And you got a daughter that went and got a degree and is excelling in her career and doing well and working at a university system. And you got a smart child, which is your daughter, and then you got a goofy boy. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, we are a little bit, you know, we have excelled in our own career paths, but different paths, but raised by the same person with the same attitude. So here's my question. What do you tell that parent? Talk to me, because I've got children. One moved out, several at home, and you've seemed to have struck a balance. Because, you know, my sister, your daughter, educated, smart, intelligent, working at a high level in the university system. Your son, self-employed, doing his own thing. So you never went to me in one extreme or the other, you know, because I remember talking to someone that my peer went to high school with. Economy went bad in 07, 08. And so he was looking for a gig just like I was, because we both found ourselves in the same situation, broke, busted, and disgusted, unemployed, you know. And so I was getting into insurance. I said, hey, try insurance. You know, there's no inventory. The only thing you have to do is pay to get your license and get trained and, you know, go get the guaranteed gig, but do this on the side and build up, you know. And he lasted a week because a parent talked him out of it. Said, you'll lose your shirt. You're wasting your time. You're not, you know, don't chase dreams. Go get that mill job. Go get that plant job. Go clock into wherever and be happy and then even spiritualize it. Be content, you know. So what do you tell that parent? Why did you not discourage me?
Well, everybody's an individual. Everybody has different makeup within their character, with their desires. Mm-hmm. And no matter how much you try to force something on somebody, it might not be the things that matches up with that person.
Right.
And if you leave it to that one that you're trying to influence, leave them with the example of yourself that you back off and not say you got to go this road down. Because if I wanted to put you in a road that I went on, it'd probably be a road you'd be traveling all over the country.
Well, I'd have been miserable if I had to work for someone and, you know, and have a boss. I've just been, I guess, got that makeup. But you never do, you know, you never let fear, because I remember being raised and we would do things, you know, I remember you bought a software package years ago from this outfit out of Indiana.
Yes. That
was a home-based business and spent some money on it. Way more than our package.
I agree. That's why I was tickled to see what you were doing here. I mean, because you offer things that will last for a generation to generation. Well, that company that I was with bankrupt in a few years, and there was no backup. You know, who's going to just came dead.
There was no support behind it. You know, and sort of once you had it, and talk to you later.
Yeah. And I even went up there to Indiana.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
I went through their business before I did that. And I thought I was making a good decision.
Well, I don't say it's a bad decision. We learned stuff, but we didn't make no money off of it. but we got educated.
Yeah.
But that's my point. You spent, and I don't, you know, but thousands.
It was about $10,000.
And this was in 19.
Well, you were in high school.
So 1990.
Yeah.
91.
Somewhere.
$10,000 in 1991 is basically $20,000 today on a software package that, was distinct, and it was because it was so technology based. It didn't have a shelf life because of the type of business it was. I won't get into any deeper than that, but it was very, it didn't have a way to grow like our platform does, because we can evolve. Our platform's not based on any one particular specific technology. It's a business platform that moves components out all the time because technology changes.
Right.
But this one didn't.
Yeah.
But see, here again, you got burnt, you could say. You financially, you got burnt. You tried, I tried, didn't make it. Now, why? This is before I met Larry Reichert. This is before Larry came into McDonald's and looked at me and said, "You were worth more." Why, after that, after having houses down in Georgia to rent, and having to lose that because of, complicated life that happened down there. I think we had a laundromat at one time. You had done some stuff and made money, done some stuff and lost money. So you have experienced the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows of what it's like to try and fail, spend money and lose your shirt. Now you got and you're a single mother. And so you know the importance of trying to, not be too risky. And then you see the 16-year-old boy that wants to buy a car and entertaining this guy that comes in. So why did you not try to talk me out of that?
Well, you saw the beauty in that car, and you really liked that car.
I'm not talking about talking me out of buying a car. I'm talking about talking me out of trying to go out and sell pots and pans door to door.
Oh, I thought you was talking about that.
No, I'm talking about, we've tried this other business. It spent $10,000. And now I'm going to go in debt. I'm going to go out and get a loan. And the way I'm going to secure that loan is through this risky home-based business that we just, so why were you still saying you can do it? Don't quit.
Well, you were a go-getter. I mean, you were somebody that would not throw it to the side over, because I've seen you with different things that you would start or you would do in schools, and then you would pick it back up and conversate with your principal or whoever needed to be, and you had no intimidation with that. And I just felt like that anything you set your hands to do, you're going to do it.
Yeah, well,
so
I think you were putting way too much trust in me. Well, I just think it's admirable as a parent to not allow your reality and where you're at in life to project that on your children, but to allow them to have their own experience. Because like I said, you've got 2 children raised by the same person in the same household, same attitudes, same worldview, same everything. One and doing great, the other completely different. And it's just amazing to me because most of the time, you take most of the kids out on the baseball field today or playing baseball because dad's got them out there. And half of them don't have any business, trying to, at a certain level. I think everybody should play sports to a degree just to learn how to work with one another. But it's just amazing to me that you allow the individual to go and experience their life.
Well, they own it themselves, and they can take it.
You didn't want to own the decision.
That's right.
Because nothing's going to roll back on you.
and then if they needed help later, you could come along and say, well, have you ever thought of this or that?
Right.
Drive it the other way, but leave it to them. I mean, you want them to grow up to be mature, thinking in their own, not what I think, because I made a lot of mistakes.
Why, when you spent all that money on that home-based business and trying it, and it didn't pan out, why are you not shaking your hands at the sky and just screaming and saying life's not fair and just getting ticked off?
Well, there's always something new out there. And I just don't like to be sitting by and moaning and groaning on something that went down bad. That's in the past. I'm looking for the future.
Yeah.
And
That's amazing. Reagan, sell something.
all right.
Do you have any questions for your grandmother before we let her get back to her life? She's like, why am I here?
No big questions. How many times you drop him though?
I will have to say I don't remember ever dropping him.
Just after a while, it just starts to.
He's looking for justification of why are you. Well, it's just, Reagan said, the easiest thing in the world to sell is a sense of this is scary out here. Come over here and we'll give you this thing and you can.
For sure.
Slavery is easy to sell.
It is. I mean,
I hate to say it, but it's just, think about,
it's kind of like you said, and some of what Grandma Joyce kind of touched on. It comes down to personality types too. I think some people thrive in an environment where they have accountability. There's someone over them looking over the shoulder.
They need that.
To some degree, I need that in some ways. In some ways, I need to mature, but like I excel and I'm competitive when I have someone like saying, you're not the best at this. And it's like, well,
right.
I am.
Well, you need that. That's motivation to you.
Right. But I think for some people, that's why job security is super important. But that being said, that's also why some people are miserable. For the things I did like about working an hourly job, there were just as many reasons, if not many more, that I hated it. And I think that's just some inheritance from your side of the family.
Well, I like the attitude, and take it out of business for a minute and take it out of entrepreneurialism. I just like the attitude of, a failure does not define you.
Yeah.
Because we just, in talking to Grandma here, there's a lot of, I got a little snarky the other day. Someone that I won't mention names, and it happened a few months ago, but they were wounded, hurt, frustrated, aggravated with life because COVID-19 and what was happening in 2020 and all this other stuff. And it was a person in the church that we know. I'm not going to mention names, but and they sent me a message saying, it must be nice that you don't have to care about anybody else but your family and blah, blah, blah. And you get to travel and blah, blah, blah. It's just so nice while the rest of us stay at home and have to, they're just sort of pinging me a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I sent him a message back and I says, it is nice. It's extremely nice to be able to go and come as you want. But what is a mystery to me is I never got these kind of messages when I was bankrupt, standing in a line looking for benevolence because I needed food and all of the struggles that I went through to get here. I never got an email from you saying that was nice.
Yeah.
See, people see the result of someone spending time in the gym, but they never see the sweat and the heartache and the pain and all the struggle in changing their diet and changing, you could take it, but it's just that attitude of not quitting and not allowing a disappointment to tell you, stop, don't try anymore. It breaks my heart that there's a parent out there that tried something and failed, whether it be in sports, business, or anything else, and then sits there and talks their child out of trying, because you're right. Every personality is different. I don't think I could not do what Debbie does. Debbie, my sister, excels in her space.
She's good at it.
She's good. She's really good. She's very smart, very articulate, well-spoken. And then she had me, which is completely
but the spectrum.
It's a spectrum. But the point is, I was able to find my thing, and do it. And I just think, whether you're on tonight and you're thinking about getting involved in the business, or you're thinking about, you got to find out, do you like freedom? Are you self-motivated? Do you want to be, are you drawn to that lifestyle? If you are,
I think it comes down to, you can like those things, but what's important to you?
Right.
Because you can have different priorities. Like, everybody likes freedom, but
are you willing to die for it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly though, like, it comes down to, what's important to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important question a lot of people have to ask themselves. I know I talk to a lot of people on the phone, and typically within the first 3 to 4 minutes, I can kind of tell, like, if it's going to be for them or not. Guys that have worked, car lots, insurance guys, real estate guys, I don't want to say it's an easier sell, but I'm not having to change their mindset. They've got their mindset. They know what it's like to work for themselves. There's a reason they work for themselves. They've weighed out the options. That is why a lot of times it can be a little bit more difficult for someone that's never worked, for themselves, never worked for commission, never had to do any of that, and then transition into that. It can be a little bit of a culture shock.
Well, I agree with you. And I think it was Steve Harvey or someone that said this, who's not typically in business. He's more of a comedian and everything. But he was talking about business, and it sort of summarized what you said. You might have heard this before. He goes, everybody loves the dream, but no one loves the hustle. He says, and when you buy into the dream, know this, the hustle sold separate.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
And so if you're not willing to hustle, then you might love that dream, but it's never going to be a reality.
Yeah.
Dreams turn into plans or goals, and goals turn into plans when you're willing to put action to it, and you're willing to get punched in the face and get right back up. And sometimes, a good mindset hack for me is I put myself in a situation where there is no options to back up. Not in a dangerous way, not that I'm going to risk the family or the money and everything, but I'm even doing that. I'm learning to do that on the treadmill. I say, listen, I'm just going to do this for an hour. I'm just doing this for an hour. And then when I get to an hour, I look down at my watch and say, okay, I've got 850 calories burned. It would be nice to go ahead and get 1,000. So I'm going to just stay on here until I do 1,000. And then I get to 1,000. It's like, well, I've been on here for 75 minutes. Let's just go ahead and do an hour and a half. I'm always, just sort of psychic. I don't go all the way out. I want to do a 90-minute workout and burn 12, 13.
But it's setting small attainable goals.
Small attainable goals. And then always giving myself permission that if there's pain or I need time limits or whatever, I can jump off once I hit this. And I've learned, that works in working out, works in business. It works, just talking to yourself and being willing to do those things.
Yeah. And I think it's going back just a little bit, but, you were talking about not pushing some of the mistakes that parents have made. We've probably told this story before, but if we haven't, we know somebody that parents specifically, not great at sports, was never their thing, kind of grew to resent sports in that way.
Yeah.
And had a son that, for a while really pushed against him joining sports, doing all these things.
And he wouldn't have been able.
And he eventually just kind of made his own path and just decided, no, I like sports.
Had to go against his father,
right?
And all the criticism and all the second guessing.
Ended up with a scholarship for cross country because natural athlete,
and in a field that you could not do without a degree from a college. And he got that degree from that college because he was able to go there because of a sport. And he wouldn't have been. So I just commend you, Mom, for letting me be me, and I know Debbie feels the same. And we wanted to have you in the studio, and I needed some parenting advice, because and that's what I've tried to tell all the kids. Some of them need to be on the podcast and doing business. Some of them might need to be doing other things. They're all loved the same, created the same, equal, but they got to find what they're called to do and go do it. And I appreciate you giving me that. I want people to make a decision not motivated by, influenced by, or manipulated by fear. Because, fear is a terrible, terrible thing that we all fight. Because who wants to try and fail? I mean, you'd have to be a masochist to, want to, But, it becomes, the pain is less and less influential in your life when you start seeing the payoff. And once you start seeing the payoff, okay, I'll absorb this little bit of pain. And then all of a sudden, the payoff gets to the point where it, as Paul says, the temporary pain is not worthy to compare. You know, in other words, you start get encompassed by this thing that's way bigger and way more pleasing and way more self-gratifying than this little bit of pain you got to go through because of that decision. So was this okay? She was very hesitant to come on. I don't want to be on.
Well, most of the time when you stick a microphone in somebody's face.
Yeah, it's yeah, we're still, yeah. You got anything else?
I don't think you can whisper. There's a camera.
It's
too.
an audio pod. All right, guys, we'll be back right after this. I'm excited about something that we're doing this year that is just a dream come true. I've always been a huge radio fan, podcasting fan, audio fan. I mean, I'm an audio listener. I love getting on the treadmill and just working out and listening to my favorite content creators. I'm able to do that for other people this year, and it's so exciting. Last year, we launched TW3Radio.com, and we had several members take advantage of that, and this year, we're putting that on steroids. I think audio and long format audio is still a viable way to get your message out, to create rapport with an audience, to increase the meaning in what you're doing. There's so many things I love about the audio format. There's 5 people I want to draw your attention to that's going to be launching their shows, relaunching in February, and we're going to be highlighting them. One, we call him Miller Time here on the show. His name is Chris Miller. Chris has been with us now for over 2 years. He came to the conference a couple years ago as an elite member. He has, the first year he joined us, he made $250,000. Last year he's made a little over $500,000, and he's even doing more this year. He's going to be sharing his inside information and what he's doing and how he's leveraging TW3, and we're honored to have him, number one, as a personality on the TW3Radio.com in the Leadership Tree program, and also he's going to be talking to us some on the podcast on Monday night, so you'll want to stay tuned to that. The second person I want to draw your attention to, we call her Linda the Legend. Linda has been in business for a long time, just like me. She's a veteran in business, and she's a veteran broadcaster as well. She's got a musical background, sort of like I do. And even though her last name is similar to mine, we're not related, but we're a kindred spirit. And she's got some insights that she shares on TW3Radio.com. She's going to be on the podcast in the coming weeks. You want to pay attention to her. My third guest is going to be, and the person I want to draw your attention to is Bobby, Coach Bobby. I'm telling you, he's a kindred spirit as well. Georgia boy, baseball fan, been in baseball for 60 years. And he has got a lot of insights of how you can take your money business and life to new levels through mindset, through activity and what you're doing, and making the way you think and what you do congruent. So there's a lot of great stuff that he's going to be sharing. Another great member at TW3, we call him Tom from Chi-Town. Tom is a fighter. Tom is a winner. Tom is someone that I get encouraged just looking at, let alone listening to, and you will too. Tom is a cancer survivor, a business professional, been in finance, been in auto sales for a long time, and he's got a great show at TW3Radio.com. We're going to be having him on the podcast to talk about his show in the coming weeks. You'll want to check out TW3Radio.com for more programming information on him. Fifth and finally, we call her Miss Spelling Bee. I'm sure there's something in the graphics that are right here that I probably misspelled that she'll be calling me later. But I love Lori Brown. Lori's been with us for a couple years as well. We call her affectionately Miss Spelling Bee. She comes from a corporate world, worked with AT&T and Yellow Pages and all that. She was a corporate trainer for them. She is one of our best coaches. I mean, you get with Lori, she can teach you the ins and the outs and show you what to do, how to do, put you on a roadmap for success. She's helped a lot of people, and she's going to be having a program as well that you'll want to pay attention to. And we've got all kinds of other members that you've heard about. They're going to be on the podcast. They don't have a radio program yet because they're more salespeople, more business professionals, or they're doing coaching. They're doing different things within the TW3 ecosystem. You've heard of Greenbacks, of course, Bam Bam from the left coast. There's tons of people that are also regulars on the show, if you will, but we're highlighting these first 5 because they're doing a radio program as well. So I want you to pay attention to that coming up. if you are a member at TW3 and want to launch your own program, it comes with your package. All you have to do is go in your back office, fill that information out. We do ask you to have steps 1 through 6 complete before you do that, okay? Because you're putting the cart before the horse if you launch a radio program and you don't have your first steps set up. So make sure you do that. But I'm telling you, radio, audio, podcasting is a great way to build rapport with an audience, to bolster your brand, to let people know who you are. Listen, I can write or have someone write a blog for me. I can put a headshot out there on my blog. I can do a lot of things to help my brand. But my audience and the people that find the most value out of what I do and the people I enjoy working with typically come through the podcast and the radio program we're doing when they come to me, because they've heard me. I can't tell you how many times, especially at our elite conferences, someone will come and say, Terry, I feel like I know you. Terry, I've been listening to you for 10 years. I feel like you're, like my brother or something. And I've never met these people, never talked to these people, yet they know me. That is the power of podcasting. That is the power of radio, because so many people in this on-demand content world we live in, they got their earbuds on, they're listening or something like that, and then you're sort of in their head and you're helping them work out. You're helping them in a commute. You're helping them go to sleep. You're helping them encourage them through a tough time. Whatever it is, your voice is there. And there's just something about the spoken word. The world was created by a word being spoken. And so I think we as created beings, we just have a deep psychological response to the voice and people speaking to us, okay? That's why negative words can be so impactful too. So the power of the spoken word is so underrated by a lot of people. But I'm telling you, I've been doing podcasting now for 13 years. And I can tell you, if you took everything from me, my blog, if you took the voice broadcast dialer, if you took the bulk texter, the bulk emailer, the landing page creator, the autoresponders, I'll say take it all, but please, 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 leave my podcast, because it's the way I connect with people. So I'm excited about what we're doing at TW3Radio.com. If you're not a listener, go over to TW3Radio.com. We've got an app coming in just a few weeks. You can go to the iOS store, the Apple store, and download the TW3 Radio app. It's not ready yet when this video is being recorded, but hopefully by the time you see it in the coming weeks, this is the 1st of January when we're recording this, we're supposed to have that app up and running in a couple of weeks, okay? So get over there, TerryWilson3.com. You can listen to TW3 Radio there, or you can go to TW3Radio.com.
Thank you for listening to TerryWilson3.com today. If you've decided you are worth more, then go to TerryWilson3.com now and get a free digital sample copy of the book. You are worth more. Listen, no one's going to give you what you're worth but you. So stop putting off and get started earning, enjoying, and experiencing what you are worth today. Go to TerryWilson3.com now to start your journey today. That's TerryWilson3.com.